From the Target 12 investigators, DU High. Police across the state grappling with tracking down more drivers under the influence of cannabis.
Even if Rhode Island does not legalize recreational marijuana this year, the drug is a short drive away in Massachusetts. Target 12 investigator Walt Buteau uncovers how prepared police and the courts are.
Police tell us high drivers make similar mistakes that drunken drivers make, but from there, building a case to keep your roads safer takes a turn. Car crashes are up by about 6% in states that recently legalized marijuana, according to an insurance organization report released in the fall. The document did not offer any direct link to marijuana as the cause, but a number of lab studies have shown drivers impaired by smoking pot weave more and react slower.
Go, 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 go.
But while the breathalyzer is a court-tested tool to determine how much alcohol is in someone's bloodstream, there is not an accepted level for how much is too much weed to cause impaired driving, let alone prove it in court. The fact the drug stays in the system for up to a month makes even the blood test ineffective in court, according to attorney Bob Humphrey, who specializes in defending DUIs.
So it will be difficult for the prosecution to prove, did they smoke marijuana immediately before it being stopped, or did they smoke it 29 days ago?
Then again, since state police stats show 64% of those pulled over for suspicion of DUI refuse the breathalyzer anyway, building a case on the physical signs of pot impairment is vital. The standard for detecting marijuana and several other drugs other than alcohol involves officers being trained as drug recognition experts, or DREs. In the entire state, with about 3,000 police officers, there are only 68 DREs, or about 2%. State Police Corporal John Gadro is one of them, but he says all officers are trained to recognize erratic driving no matter what drug was used. And he says some of the signs pot is involved are obvious, including they smell like they smoked.
You'll see brown or green stains on their tongue, possible green plant-like material in their teeth. Their eyes may be dilated. They'll have body tremors.
From there, someone suspected of driving high would be taken in, and a DRE would be called for further physical testing. State police currently have only 19 DREs, prompting the department to put those officers on call 24 hours a day.
I think we have the resources in place. It would be great to add more resources to it. That evidence is helpful for our case, but again, we still have to paint the entire picture.
Will the tests that they use to determine a person's intoxication because of marijuana, will those stand up in court? That's going to take years to decide.
So far, there have not been many legal tests here for driving high, but most law enforcement and legal experts we talk with expect that to change when recreational marijuana use is legal in Rhode Island. With the Target 12 investigators, Walt Buteau, Eyewitness News.
Now at 6, a follow-up to a Target 12 investigators exclusive DU High. At 5, we showed you the challenges facing police here in Rhode Island with recreational marijuana, now legal in Massachusetts and other states.
Meanwhile, a hearing on a bill to legalize recreational marijuana in Rhode Island is scheduled for next week. So we wanted to know what state leaders think the chances for legalization are in 2019. Target 12 investigator Walt Buteau tells us what he's learned, new at 6.
Lawmakers tell Target 12 the marijuana debate will heat up toward the end of this session, either late next month or in June. But many agree it's a matter of when, not if, the drug is legal in Rhode Island. House Speaker Nicholas Mattiello remains neutral on legalization, but also tells us he's not certain the regulatory system is ready for it this year. Still, the Cranston Democrat points out the proposed budget relies on $8 million in recreational marijuana revenue. Governor Raimondo's pot policy director remains optimistic for legalization this year.
Absolutely, it's possible.
Norman Birnbaum emphasizes with the drug legal in Massachusetts and up for debate by Connecticut lawmakers, Rhode Island is already impacted with potential roadway and societal issues without the revenue.
The responsible thing would be to do it this year and put in place these resources for public health and public safety and law enforcement so that they can have the training for enforcement, for prevention.
Senate President Dominic Ruggiero told us today he wants to proceed very cautiously with legalization, and on Newsmakers last month he said he was against it.
I said, I have some concerns about the edibles and some other things. If they can provide me with some information that will allay those concerns, I would be a little more receptive. I don't see that happening at this point.
Legalizing pot cleared a hurdle in Connecticut a week ago when the legislature's Judiciary Committee advanced a bill to the full House and Senate. A vote is expected toward the end of the session in June. With the Target 12 investigators, Walt Buteau, Eyewitness News.